Previously on Is This Thing On?, the pressure on the class began to bubble over, with Kim and Stacey clashing over a material dispute.
I was unaware that she was going to bring in a Frankston skit for her routine.
Judy turned to drugs to help her cope.
Took a sleeping pill and forgot to set the alarm.
And Brad refused to talk on camera after being questioned about his surge in self-belief outside the classroom.
And that's off limits.
Steve Van Apron put Steve Mackey under hypnosis in order to combat his burgeoning confidence issue.
My name's Steve. Pleased to meet you. Your name is? Can't remember your name.
And guest comedian Chris Franklin took the class to a local primary school to perform a minute-long improvised routine to a room full of 10-year-old kids.
Yeah, they all adapted pretty well.
It's day 5. The nervous energy that had been bubbling away below the surface has boiled over and is inhabiting the entire group. Yesterday's visit to a local primary school only served to heighten the intensity, and with only 48 hours till showtime, everyone was wired.
So, you know, there would have been a moment where you thought, OK, I'm out here, I got nothing, what am I going to do? And there's always something will come.
A lot of drink containers came.
Yeah.
Following him as he came back into the room.
We did have a beer afterwards, and I actually went to go get a beer, and I looked on Steve Bax, and he actually had banana stains on his back, where some kid had hit him hard with a banana.
So you know that tomorrow night, just have some bananas ready. I think I might have shouted at you, Steve, just be silly and physical.
That would be some good advice for me. I so bombed. Even when we actually lined up at the end and they had the 10 actually going, oh, you know, who was the best? It came around to me. And there was crickets. Just dead silence.
It's pretty much answered the question on whether I'll have kids or not. And we're going to go with a hard no. I went the method of tricking them and forceful laughter. So I did Simon Says, and then after they were into it, I was like, Simon Says laugh, and then they made him laugh, and I was like, done.
OK, yeah, whatever it
Cheap
takes.
laugh, but I got it.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, props. So I found the teacher's vest and I found the woman's hat. And I thought, you know, let's parody their teacher, like the most stereotypical strict teacher.
Yes.
And let them hate on me.
Can I ask how old were they?
About 10, I think, yeah.
Oh, really? 10. Oh, wow, that's a nightmare.
Can you tell us this now?
Oh, I thought they were all the same age, because the difference between 7 and 10 is significant. Well, I take my hat off to you then, if you get them all to do anything.
And the kids were really good hecklers too. I walked in, and the first thing I got was like, my mum says you look really plastic.
Today my mum said you had a lot of plastic on you.
I had a lot of plastic on me, really. I was just like, boom, it was just like, oh my God, this is what?
Well, I thought I'd do this little routine about before social media. When I told my brother last night, who's got kids aged, 12 and 14, he said, well, kids don't know what social media is. They just know Snapchat. They don't know Snapchat is social media. So they said they wouldn't have got any of it.
I didn't try to connect with on LinkedIn.
Yeah. My last bit that I ended with was a joke that went, well, what did the saucer say to the cup? You have a hot bottom.
How did that go down?
One of the kids in the front said, you've got a hot bottom too.
You got a hot bottom. Thank you.
At least he was observant, yeah.
You know, I didn't realise that kids at that age were also into that sort of a mindset on your physical appearance or anything like that. You don't realise how actual mature those kids are.
Well, I'm glad you all had what seems to be an overall good experience. So tomorrow night is show night, and I'm aware that some of you still don't have all of the material locked in. Today, I want to look at your opening 20 seconds and then the closing. So we've got to get the opening and the closing nailed and know that they're going to work. And I just want to talk, while we're here, just a little bit about posture. So I might just use myself as an example up here. If I'm walking on and my weight is back, so pretty much on my heels, a lot of people that walk like this, these are the people that will get mugged. They look kind of, I don't know, less confident. That's because my weight is pretty much on my heels, my shoulders are slumped. That doesn't convey confidence. Whereas if you have your weight just over your toes and think of a string pulling you up, that's a sort of a more confident pose. You command more respect, and you also will get more attention, and people will feel more confident. So when you're introduced, on Saturday night, just take a moment to gaze around the room. If you can't see their eyes, it doesn't matter. You know that they're there. And just make eye contact with them, whatever the size of the room is. And particularly at the people at the very back. Even though you've got a microphone, think about projecting your voice too. And then when you leave, be courteous. Even if you think you haven't gone that well, just hold that confidence, because if you leave in confidence, people will still take in how you are looking and feeling. And smile. Plenty of that, tits and teeth, as they say in showbiz.
The students hung on every word, knowing that the more snippets of valuable information they could retain and implement on Saturday night, the better their chance of pulling off a successful and funny performance. The top and tail of their routines would be key to how the audience perceived them, and this was their last chance to perfect those gags under Glyn's guidance.
What the hell? I've been pushing for the last 24 hours.
Yeah, good. When you first come in, say your name into the microphone before you take the mic out the stand and move the mic. So I'll do the introduction again, and you come on and you say, hi everyone, and then take the microphone out of the stand. We want to be most important to you. Okay, so please welcome Lee Tom.
Hi everyone, my name is Lee.
That's great.
I've been a psychiatric nurse for the past 18 years. I got punched in the head the other day by a patient, which is always nice. I've decided to make a change, and I've gone into stand-up comedy. The pay isn't quite as good, but the people are nicer, and, you know, the free drink at the end, that's definitely a nice little bonus.
I'd like you to stick to the same wording, but at least I get a drink at the end.
As I was coming to the venue tonight, I was hassled by a homeless man. I hated when those guys do that, because it reminds me they have more money than me.
That's a good opener.
Now fuck off out of Frankston.
Yes.
Because most kids your age are on their second pregnancy.
But be big and loud. You're a disgrace. Because the irony of her being pissed, telling her that you're a disgrace.
You're a disgrace.
Drink! Fucking drink the wine. I want to see you drink the wine. Yeah, you get the idea, all right?
I do.
So by playing it small, you're cheating us and you're cheating yourself.
It is good to be here, but just got a bit of housekeeping. I have to get out of the way. A lot of people don't know this, but 4 months ago I had open heart surgery. So just standing here is actually quite good.
The very first time you did this, you said, I'm really glad to be here. I'm so glad to be here, because 4 months ago I had open heart surgery. You all right?
Okay.
Yeah, I just cracked my chest.
Ooh.
Just put my shoulders back.
Oh my God.
That's
okay.
all right. It happens, it does happen. It happens when I do push-ups as well.
What do you mean, that the 100 push-ups that you do?
Yeah. It's the sit-ups you gotta keep it on.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that I'm in a really good relationship now, but I can't get into too many more details in case his wife's watching.
No, get back up there. Put the microphone in, and then I want you to come centre stage and take in the applause, right? Yeah. And then as it fades, as the applause fades, you move off, right? When an audience is giving you an applause, and you see this often when you go to the theatre, I hate it. It's as if they come out and they're going, yeah, what the fuck, you know. And you see people who are really appreciative of the applause. We're giving back to you. This is for all of you. Enjoy it.
Can I just say, if there are any TV people here tonight thinking, we might make this, a couple of notes. First of all, you might want to work on Jesus' getaway vehicle, you know, leaving the crime scene, jumping on donkeys. However, on the brighter side, Jesus did hang out a lot with prostitutes. So your TV show will still have tits and ass.
Yeah.
Oh, and casting. This could be the role that helps Craig McLachlan resurrect his career.
Oh.
Thank you. Good night.
I think it's good. You could physicalise the shooting a bit, Steve. You could go, prepare to meet my dad.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Really over the top.
Yes. I love it.
I've got a question for you. Has anyone here seen a orangutan fuck a possum? Because I have, and I haven't said that shit again. At the time, like, I was standing there with the zookeeper, and he was looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm looking at him like, I don't know. I'm a welder. You're the zookeeper.
You're a what? You're a what?
A welder.
A welder. It's the first time I heard the word welding, so I want to make sure it's clear.
So global warming is affecting Mother Earth. Where's Father Earth? This is a single lady doing all the world's work by herself, the wars, the washing, the religion, everything all by herself, while Father Earth is probably down the pub somewhere, thinking about slipping a finger somewhere in Uranus.
The fingering in Uranus line, it's taking us off track. Where's Father Earth? Down the pub, having a beer, having a laugh, and Mother Earth is back home. And what were the three things you were saying?
War, washing, religion.
I think the washing should be at the end. So famine, drought, war, doing the washing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My name's Stacey. I was born in Frankston. For those who don't know, it's a bit of a bogan suburb. My, mum and dad had...
Can we just like...
for a second? What?
I thought we had that discussion.
What discussion was that?
The one where you said you weren't going to use it?
No. It was my story too. I grew up in Frankston. We had a chocolate Monaro. My dad smoked.
I'm going to go.
What do you mean? Huh.
Okay.
You want to take this outside?
No, thank you very much. Stacey, thank you. Back here. Sit down, Kim.
With only one day to go before the performance, Glenn was concerned this feud over material was starting to impact both Kim and Stacey's preparation and elected to ask the show's behavioural analyst, Steve Van Apron, to intervene.
Let's get it out in the open. Is there some sort of conflict that's happening between the two of you that we can resolve?
I was very annoyed, and it's been playing on me a lot after yesterday. You know, I did come up to Stacey and I did confront her about that. For me, it kind of took me back a little bit on why you would do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you actually, knowing that I do that, and you've also, you said to yourself that you've been in a similar situation, you know, where you got on stage, so why would you then come again and do what you had done to you to me?
Kim is a complicated person. We saw the conflict between Stacey and Kim about material. I mean, really, at the end of the day, who cares? Doesn't matter. Everyone's going to have different material. But you know what, in life, sometimes you're going to offend and upset people. That's the nature of living. I want her to really go out and enjoy it. It seems to me like she's just delivering it. I don't see the smiling and the enjoyment. It's almost like a chore. I want her to come out and enjoy it and have fun with it.
Now was also a good time to hear Steve's thoughts on how far each student had come over the past 5 days and whether he felt they were ready for an audience in less than 24 hours.
Okay, let me talk about Steve Davis. Steve likes to stay with what he feels comfortable with. The fact that he had to perform in front of some school children and the unexpected nature of how they would react probably put him in a position where he had to create, whereas when he delivers routine that's already scripted, then he sort of falls back into that safety comfort zone. I would like to see him sort of jump out of his skin a little bit and sort of let loose. I think he'd enjoy himself more, but he's too scripted.
I'm Judy. I'm from Keilor and I like computer games.
Now, Judy, I remember day one, I said, I think the word was robotic. I haven't seen any change. Even after our conversations, she's still looking up in the air. She's not connecting with individual audience members. I've spoken to other people who've also offered her advice, and she's decided not to take it. So obviously that's up to Judy, whether or not she wants to take it on board or wants to use the advice. But you can't change if you maintain the same status quo. I found Stacey to be a handful.
Because for me, the Frankston thing is where I grew up, so it's a long time ago.
There are people here that are trying to help her and want to help her. But the problem is, I've worked on a number of techniques insofar as memory, she's not adopting and not using it. Now, here's a perfect environment to capitalise on using all the skill sets and the knowledge, the years of knowledge that these people have. Even the best comedians, even the best speakers always seek advice. I don't know one comedian or speaker who's not changing their approach or changing their material or not working, tweaking something. And I don't see that from Stacey. And you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result. The thing I like about Grant is he's such a likeable personality, such a likeable character. You know, he laughs at himself. One of the things that drives me crazy is the word of actually.
Actually just being... What was the line again, sorry? It's actually good to be anywhere right now.
If Grant can say one sentence without the word actually 4,000 times, I know I've achieved my goal. But other than that, he's really enjoying himself. I hear a lot of people talk themselves down, they're negative. Well, he's just been through major heart surgery. Everything else is a bonus. Cara said to me, she said, on Friday, I am going to self-sabotage.
The fear of me failing on Saturday is going to make me sabotage it so that I don't have high expectations and then disappoint myself.
I said to Cara, I said, OK, what time on Friday? As soon as that negative thought process comes, I want you to do something. I don't care what it is. You can click your fingers. You can listen to loud music, I don't care what it is, but I want you to divert your focus, because when you start focusing on something, it becomes your main priority. My prediction as to how Cara will go on Saturday night, if she lets those negative self-beliefs and that negative chatter in her brain convince her she's not going to be funny, she won't be funny. So I'm a little bit concerned because I think that she will revert back into that, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I want to highlight the fact that you meet guys and they sound amazing and then they slowly turn and then you find out that they're massive idiots.
Steve Mackey is quite an interesting character.
I'm doing this to, I know it's weird, but like putting myself out there and facing these fears head on, and then maybe it can help me.
He's the sort of guy that would hide in the room, wouldn't make an effort to introduce himself. Very self-conscious. You know, you could tell by the shoulder slump, talking down to the floor. And when I first saw that, I thought this will be interesting. He wants to be a comedian. He wants to put himself in the firing line. And I thought that was a pretty bold and brave move. There was a stage where I thought we were going backwards. So I had to pull out the big guns. I had to hypnotise him. OK, I'm going to count to 3. When I count to 3 and you hear me say the word 3, your arm will just drop completely relaxed, completely floppy. 1, 2, and 3. And one of the things that really even blew me away was how he reacted so well to it.
I went to the subway the other day. Geez, I'm busy. And I was busy man.
I'm confident that he'll do well on Saturday night, but I want one more session with him because I think that we can really instill that confidence.
What the hell? You do so well.
Lee Ton, very confident person, but he is going through a bit of self-doubt. But I think he'll perform very well on Saturday because he can stand up in front of people, deliver his material, and has great presence and great delivery. And people love him. I think he'll do really well.
Why do you make me feel I want to cry?
Because that's what I do. I make people cry.
Okay.
What can I say about Talia? I love her quirky dress. The other day, I nearly had to put my sunglasses on. It was that bright.
I'm feeling now a little bit tired and I guess starting to get to the point where maybe a little bit of overthinking, maybe a little bit of subconscious pressure.
We were talking earlier on this morning. She's saying that other people think that she's very confident and now she's starting to doubt her confidence. She has to forget what other people say. The thing I really want to work on with her is to take the positive, screw the negative, move on. She will do well, but it's just a little jittery confidence issues before the big presentation on Saturday. Brad has really come out of his shell. He's taking some of these things that we're talking about and putting them into action outside of this environment. He was telling me about a girl that he met and he went up and approached her. He said he would never normally do that.
It was that conversation with Steve that Brad had refused to discuss on camera and ultimately led to his decision to storm off set. But the show's director was keen to learn more about how the techniques Brad was learning in class were impacting his private life and pressed him on it further.
Pressure's building up and sometimes it's a bit hard to cope with.
There is no not talking to me.
Yeah, I'm going to smash it.
He's doing a runner. Do you want me to follow him?
Yeah, follow.
Let me have a chat. Brad, you mic'd up? Yeah, I am. Talk to me. Okay, if I take the mic off, do you want to talk to me? Okay, I've got to go back and give it to them. Can you just hang 10? Okay.
Hi, it's Brad. Leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yes, hi Brad. It's Steve Van Apperen. I'm just wondering if you could call us back. Thank you. I'm a little bit worried about him.
Things were clearly starting to escalate. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, Glenn was about to introduce today's guest comedian, Ethiopian-born stand-up
Joe White. Joe.
I asked, how did you get here? And the Persian guy looked at me and he went, car. I thought maybe the word got a donkey here, I don't know.
A refugee from war-torn streets of a third world country and one of 6 children raised by a single mother, he first came to light on Channel 7's Australia's Got Talent. In 2019, he was the recipient of Best Comedy Weekly Award at the Perth Fringe World Festival. These days, he divides his time between acting, writing, performing and touring. This ex-business banker is the future of Australian comedy.
My name is Joe White and you have been an amazing crowd to perform to.
Before I even get on stage, whatever energy I'm putting out there, it's that, hey guys, I'm confident, I love what I do, and we're all gonna have a great time. That's the message that I go out there with. And the best way to be confident is to prepare. Preparation will decide whether you crash and burn or not. If you prepare to a degree where you know your jokes, you know the punchline, you know how you're going to deliver them, you can picture the event happening, you're having a great time, then you know when you get out there, you're going to deliver. I did my first 45 minutes, 6 months into comedy. I was a banker at the time, so I had to get up, 6 a.m., get ready and do what I needed to do before work. And then when the time came, it hit me. I was like, oh man, what have I done? I was on my phone and I was looking at one-way flights out of Perth because I'm like, I've messed up. 6 months into comedy and I've done this, and I was like, this is the biggest mistake of my life. But then I just kept remembering this is fear. And that you just got to put yourself in that sink or swim moment, and you'll find that we're all very good swimmers. No one could tell that I was shitting my pants. Everyone afterwards was just like, obviously you know what you're doing. And I was like, nah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pretending.
Back in the foyer, Brad had finally returned and Steve was keen to make sure everything was okay.
I need to know what's taking place, what's going on.
Okay, I had an engagement come to an end very, very suddenly. Less than 3 weeks ago. There's still a lot of grieving going on, a lot of unresolved emotions, and it's been confronting. A lot of the course has been very confronting.
Obviously something pushed you to be here, and you're going through quite a personal, emotional turmoil. And if this is going to create a problem, we need to deal with it now.
Sure.
So are you prepared to keep moving ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you've got to do. You just got to keep pushing forward no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep moving forward. Got anybody deal.
With the class now fully reunited and the clock ticking down to showtime, Joe had a bombshell he was about to drop that would guarantee everybody would be ready.
Every time having to get on stage, it can get scary. So every time you go out there, you're taking that leap of faith. Speaking of taking that leap of faith, we're going to physically do that today. We're actually going to do skydiving.
You're trying to kill us on this show.
I'm just that scared. We're all going to have a professional with us, so we're in good hands, but it's taking that leap of faith, right? So by show of hands, who's willing to come and do skydiving with me?
Why not?
Yeah.
We got Naked on TV,
Okay.
why not Die on TV too?
Yep, that's it. That's the spirit. Everyone's doing it. Luton. Good man. He's got this one going on, but all the way up, guys. Excellent.
Oh my
Excellent.
God. Instantly got sweaty palms.
Are you really doing skydiving?
Yes.
It's on my bucket list.
Okay. This is amazing.
If it's around 3 minutes, then you could do most of your routine while you're...
Joe had arranged to take the class to the St Kilda Marina, where they would be briefed on the safety aspects of stepping out of an aircraft at 15,000 feet.
Okay guys, right now the winds are close. The Bureau of Meteorology has told us there are going to be coming down, and hopefully we're going to have a window where we can actually get you guys skydiving. So we're going to start getting ready.
James is the jump master for Skydive Melbourne. It was his job to get the students suited up and ready to leave for the airstrip as quickly as possible in order to guarantee they didn't miss the window of opportunity predicted by the Weather Bureau.
And then start getting into the skydiving gear.
The professionals have said that we've got that gap and we can potentially do it. It's so windy.
Are you not going to jump?
Oh, fuck no, not in this, no way. I survived that. I'm not going to go and jump out of a plane.
It's all part of the process. You get so scared. It's that fear, right, that's trying to convince you not to do it, but he has to get out of his comfort zone, right?
The wind adds to the drama. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
There was no doubt the extreme conditions had added an extra layer of fear that would test the students' resolve.
Probably be just shooting myself, so probably...
It's like I'm having an out-of-body experience. I'm just like, Going to not think about it.
I'm never going to choose to do this by myself. So if it wasn't being filmed, I wouldn't be doing it.
If someone dies, I mean, the ratings will be good for you guys, so we've got a thing in our family. When we're nervous, we laugh. So if there's an hysterical person laughing in the room, it could be a cousin or a criminal.
Well, I reckon we're going to go up and jump out an aeroplane, right? And no one's going to die.
And by the time they were on the buses, the gravity of the moment had finally sunk in.
This is a pretty big event for anybody to undertake. If at any point anybody is having second thoughts, it's okay to let us know that you don't want to go through, that you've made it this far and this is far enough for you. It's going to probably rock your world, but then also we might be pulling the plug at any moment as well.
I just noticed though that you've written "help me" in the fog on the window.
I was actually remembering some brain research that said you can't recite Shakespeare when you're drowning because it's that other part of the brain that's doing it. At the moment, I'm just in that's the more primal part of the brain. The
purpose of today is
to really know.
One of us is going to die.
I would generally like to say that was the worst pep talk I've ever heard.
This is not bothering me whatsoever. I'm much more okay with potential death than children and nudity.
Well, I guess a number of things we've done this week, we've got out of a comfort zone, so this is just another one. It's just like worse than the others.
I'm certainly feeling prepared. That's great. That doesn't prevent me from doing something stupid, like falling off the stage.
I'm coming in and out of consciousness, But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with what we're doing.
In one word, it feels pretty fucked right now. The closest thing I've done to anything like this is like fucking Tower of Terror, and I'm fucking crying like a bitch just coming down that thing. So I'm shitting myself right now.
I thought this was a parachute.
You can try it. Like, look at me, I'm holding onto this fucking van, like, this is it, So, yeah, I don't feel great. Plus, the crowd's not helping either. It's like, we're all gonna die!
As the buses pulled up at Moorabbin Airstrip, the wind seemed to die down and the students steeled themselves for their biggest challenge so far. Over the past 5 days, each wannabe comedian had embraced everything the school had thrown at them. They were bonded as a group, bolstering each other's confidence and feeding off the adrenaline. And now the penultimate challenge. On the eve of their first live stand-up comedy performance, they had one more monster hurdle to overcome.
So guys, you've filled in the paperwork, you've signed your lives away, you're in the gear, you've done the training, you've made it out to the airport. Unfortunately, Mother Nature has laid the last punchline on you, and we currently cannot go skydiving. It's safety first, but we want you guys to go through these motions, You're here, you got this far. You were right on the edge of going all the way and you still made it. Like, sometimes you can do all that prep work, and then at the last minute, the rug is pulled from out underneath you and there's nothing you could do about it, but you were ready and you were up for it, and you were there.
That's disappointing.
That's what I said.
The anticipation is huge, but I think that there's still something that will benefit from the disappointment.
I'd much rather be salvaging something from the disappointment than being salvaged from a disappointment.
Yes.
Can we still go do something fun?
Yes, it was disappointing, but the truth was, the fact they didn't actually get to jump out of a plane didn't really matter. They had committed to doing it, and that was enough. All 10 students had proved they were ready, and tomorrow night they would take that first brave step into the unknown, and no amount of inclement weather would stop them.
Give me some light.
Next time on Is This Thing On?, the students spend the day with guest comedian Greg Fleet, who takes them to the home of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, the Melbourne Town Hall, and gives a last-minute critique on each of their routines.
If you're totally freaked out by looking at people, just look over their heads.
I scheduled in a meltdown at 6 o'clock last night, but we were running late home, so I pushed it back to about 7.
Then finally, it's the moment of truth, as one by one, the students deliver their sets to a packed room.
I just want to get out there.
It's so much fun, oh my gosh.
For some, it's a life-changing event, and for others, it's the end of the road.
Whether we jumped or not, that has been a rewarding experience.